What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special kind of collaborative episode as we are both hopsgeeknews and Nerd Initiative today because we're here to spread the good word of some Nazis getting destroyed by none other than Dracula. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you're about to, but first things first, like, subscribe, share on both Hopsgeeknews and Nerd Initiative on YouTube, anywhere you find us on social media platforms, and of course, podcasting platforms, as we have two friends of the show here to join us with their upcoming IDW Dark comic book, Operation Iron Coffin. We have Kenny Porter and we have Tyrell Cannon. Tyrell, we're going to start with you first and foremost because we haven't seen you in a little bit. How are you doing? How are things going?
I'm good. I've been, busy drawing Madness and Dracula, but things have been going good. It's been a good year. Had some fun projects. So yeah, it's going well.
Awesome. It's always great whenever we get to see your artwork because, the last couple of projects you've had, we've had Eris and we've had the Schlub, just absolutely astounding and love.
Thank
and
you.
That's one of the things that just really pulled me into this. And then of course you might recognize this man. We saw him, almost 2 months ago now. Our friend Kenny Porter is back as well. So Kenny, how are you doing? How has life been since your Florida trip?
I'm doing great. Life since the Florida trip has been amazing, mainly because I get to keep working with Tyrell on this crazy Dracula book. So that's what keeps me going. That's what waking up, I'm like, there's all those things like do it for her, like in The Simpsons, but I'm doing it for Drac every single morning. Because my fingers are touching a picture of Vlad the Impaler every single year. That,
of course, that's the best way to wake up.
Great adventure. Yeah.
Lauren, I know you're here, but are you okay? Again, I have to ask, are you all right there?
Just say it is a shame. Right before we were recording, I went to turn a fan off and tripped and totally busted my ass, and everybody got to watch, but it wasn't recorded, so nobody will ever get to see the footage. I would have liked to have watched that. I'm sure it was funny from you guys' viewpoint.
It was
like that time in Walmart.
Cinematic fall. It looked like you planned it. Like that's why I shouted, "Oh no!"
It was like it's beautiful. Somewhere StreamYard has this recorded and it's going to go back. But no, we are talking Operation Iron Coffin. Guys, this is your upcoming project from IDW publishing their IDW Dark line. So why don't you kind of give us the quick pitch of what it is about? And then how did this kind of get started?
Sure. So Operation Iron Coffin is set in World War II, and it's about the British dropping Dracula like a bomb Nazis. So that's the basic overall pitch. The story is really about Dracula on a very specific mission to save his soul and on a path of redemption. We don't just give it to him outright. He has to earn it. And that's pitting him against the biggest monsters of the era in the year that he's currently on. So it's very heavily inspired by the original novel. In tone wise, it has a lot of elements of like Castlevania and Vampire Hunter D and Metal Gear Solid, actually.
Some Metal Gear, we get a little bit of Snake. Oh my God.
A little bit,
okay.
Yeah. Like a little bit, not too many codec scenes, but as much as we could muster. And we'll get to see him fight his way up an experimental Nazi train against crazy weapons of both the occult and science brought in from.
All right. So Tyrell, whose idea was this one? Like, how did you guys reunite the golden team? This is like Shaq and Kobe all over again, coming back together and running it back again.
Man, I don't know who's Shaq and who's Kobe.
We be both.
This was Kenny's original idea, and it's funny because like we did the Schlub together, and we had a really nice time working together, and so then Kenny and I just kept doing pitches. So we've done it. We've done quite a few pitches. This is just the one that happened to sort of land, and funny because when Kenny originally pitched me the idea, it was sort of the opening scene of like, okay, this bomb comes down and hits the train, and then it's Dracula, and I was like, oh man, I would draw that. And so he's like, cool. So I did just 2 pages, just 2 pitch pages for it. And then when it got picked up, I was like, okay, all right, we're doing this, But yeah, Kenny and I both are fans of the book. And I'm sure Kenny can talk more about sort of where he first got the idea. But, as someone who loves like pulpy stuff and then someone who's a fan of Dracula, when he told me the idea, I was like, this is perfect. I would love to do this.
When everyone loves a good story where you get to kill some Nazis.
Oh, yeah. That's without a doubt the best part. I mean, from right off the opening, you drop him in. It's there you go. You're on this train. It almost feels as though, I don't know if you've ever watched Bullet Train, the movie, but that's kind of some vibes that I got too, because the whole sequence is just taking place on the train. They're kind of fighting their way through. And that's kind of what this first issue made me think of. So you have Dracula though, with a bit of a twist. You talk about this redemption. What can you tell us about Dracula's redemption? Because you mentioned he has a soul. Does Dracula actually have a soul? I feel like this is a really good question.
It is a good question. So a lot of this book is based on the fact that, like we said, I'm a huge fan of the novel. There's a moment in the novel near the end, which I've said multiple times, spoilers for a book written hundreds of years ago. But when they kill Dracula, finally, again, spoilers, when they cut off his head, Mina Harker, who he's been pursuing through the whole book, mentions that when his head is separated from his body, she watches his face almost like return to a human state and look contented for a second. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting wrinkle that was never really explored. So in this, we have him being resurrected, but it's with a big catch and a mission that he's given in order to sort of save his soul and more like secure a more tolerable version of the afterlife than what we show. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but this mission's very, like, it's a unique thing I've never seen anyone do with him before. And there's a really unique restriction and Faustian bargain with his powers when he comes back. So that's kind of where the idea germinated. I also just thought, wouldn't it be metal as hell if they drop the image? I mean, the image really sold it. Both with the pitch pages, we're like, we don't need anything in the pitch pages except bomber, little metal object, zoom in that it's the coffin, goes in the back of Nazi train, out comes Dracula, like slaughtering these baddies. So that's really where it came from. And then from there, we developed this emotional journey that he goes on. As he fights his way up the train, he's also fighting his nature and what he used to be. So we juxtapose that action with his actual emotional state, as well as his development as a character towards redemption.
Yeah, I love that twist. Again, I don't want to say what it was, but I love the twist that he was given
when
he came back. That was really cool, because it leaves so many questions about his character and his true intentions as well, that you kind of get to think about and watch him on his journey. So I'm trying to be very vague.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, at the same time, while he's doing this, I mean, it is kind of a, Dracula on a mission, but I think what you guys did really well, both through the art and through, the writing, is you kind of give him, he has some moral dilemmas, and it's kind of giving that voice of, okay, so, because on the outside, when you're reading the novel, it's very much Dracula is the villain, but we're kind of seeing for the first time where he's not. So what was it like kind of diving in? Did you guys watch anything else to kind of be like, all right, well, what if Dracula you talked about the soul, like what if he actually had some reservations?
Tyrell, you want to go first this time?
Yeah, I mean, on my end, a lot of my sort of prep was, a lot of it was looking at history, right? Looking at trains and like experimental trains that the Nazis actually had, and then sort of extrapolating from there and taking kind of that approach. But then for sort of the look of everything, I was big time looking at a lot of, I mean, I've been a huge fan of anime for a while, but especially some of the stuff by, Kawajiri, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D. Also a big fan of like movies like Red Line. It's another anime with just like kinetic action. So those are sort of guideposts. And then I tried to take a minute and watch a bunch of movies and play some games that I knew from the past that had train scenes in them. And so I watched like the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, or the end of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, or Snowpiercer. I watched and I played through like Uncharted 2, the train level. I really wanted to play the Killzone 2 train level, but I can't seem to find a copy of Killzone anywhere.
It's been so long since I played Killzone. I mean,
But just like thinking about what do you do with this sort of setting was a big part of it for me. And then, seeing how Kenny was developing the character, I wanted him to be expressive visually as well. And so I tried to work in a lot of things that were visual cues for different sort of moments that he was going to have. And I watch a lot of other things too that are about monsters. I watched a bunch of Dracula movies before we started. All the different versions that have come out over time. And
I hope you didn't have to sit through the most latest Dracula that had oh my god, what is his name? Christoph Waltz in it. Oh, please.
Oscar Isaac was in it.
No. There was this
I'm
one
thinking
that
of Frankenstein. Never
Christoph
mind.
Waltz, and I watched it. It was
I didn't see that one.
Don't worry, you don't have to watch that one to do anything. No, not to like talk
mostly
down.
the old ones, but it was sort of just like, part of it for me was just getting sort of some visual language, whether that be historical or just like the flair I wanted to give it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there any so I know this is steeped in World War II. So how historically accurate did you guys want to also make this at the same time?
A little
like Hellboy, I think.
Yes.
Again, Nazis were like experimenting. They're doing a lot of scientific things with whatever it was in their trains, and they built the first like jet engine, not for anything too. So I was very curious.
all of the launching points are based on real historical stuff. So the train is actually based on a real Nazi gold train that went missing at this point in the war. So that's like, we kind of start out saying like it was said to be a gold train. It wasn't. That was a lie, like a decoy sort of thing. Ooh. And then all of the rumors about the occultism and the scientific experiments that they were like horrible shit that they were doing to people that they had captured, people that they put in camps, like stuff that they did to the Jews, fucking horrible. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, all this will be steeped in either things we know happened or pulpy type rumors that we heard so that we could build it out. We really did go in with that Hellboy sort of thing of like, let's give them just enough history to set it for context and then let it go in the fictional direction. Because we didn't want to be marred down by actual technology or anything. Like, we wanted to be able to throw baddies at him that could stand up to him. So that's why we elevated some of the technology that would have been around by that, which is kind of a little bit of the Metal Gear inspiration that goes into it of like technology. Like, they got stuff that's slightly better than they should have had.
Like Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very spacious train. I mean, I feel like that train went on forever and ever as well as we are going through. And it is, in some of the parts. And now sorry, Lauren, if I'm talking too much, feel free, but how bloody in kind of things were you allowed to? Because there's especially a big splash page that Tyrell brings. And I'm curious, like, was there any moment where they were like, all right, maybe not this crazy, but we can do most of this stuff?
They never said you can't. They just, when we started and it got picked up, we were going to do it with IDW Dark. They were like, what age range are you thinking? Like, you thinking like PG-13? We were like, R. Hard R. Like, this is going to be bloody. Like a lot of we worked in this one. It was kind of a mix of full script and Marvel style, where any of the just like dialogue, like dramatic scenes, I did full script, and then action scenes, similar like what we did to the Schlub, I just let Tyrell cook, and I was like, this happens, and here's some dialogue. I was like, I just set him up to be incredibly crazy violent and to lean into that Ninja Scroll Vampire Hunter D sort of thing. Like, a lot of the violence reminds me of Ninja Scroll, which is
I was going to say, there's a lot of, like, as far as the violence goes, I can see your anime backgrounds in that because it gets pretty animated. And for you, how fun was this, like, going to town? Did you feel free in a way?
Oh, it was cool. I had just wrapped up Eris, which has a lot of violence in it as well for different purposes, right? And so one thing I'll say is that there's definitely a lot of blood. Like, for example, when I get my color flat, I have a whole layer that on every page that's just for blood and just for bodies. So it's like, it's complex enough that I feel like I need to, I've changed my workflow to best handle the amounts of blood. But it's been really fun because I feel that, me and Kenny, we like comics and movies and animation that has a very hand-drawn feel and a very detailed feel, but also feels like fast and action. And I feel like sometimes some comics lately, maybe that visceralness is lacking a little bit. So I was really excited to bring something that felt, in the same wheelhouse as the stuff that we love and that influences us. Like, really feels like it's right there. If you like Ninja Scroll, you will definitely like this comic, right? It's easy for me to say that.
When I will say, none of the guts or the blood or the gore take away from the story. Like, it doesn't feel like it's there to shock. It feels like it's there to show what they're doing and the level of evil of all of it. But you still, I mean, as soon as I opened it, I was like, because I love your art. It's gorgeous. And so you still get those gorgeous shots of like the trains and the mountains and all these other things. And I love the flashback we get as well. And we go to another place as well. And so all of those scenes are still beautiful. So if anybody's listening to this and thinking it's just blood and nothing else, no, you still get some absolutely gorgeous artwork. And even the gruesome stuff is really pretty. Maybe pretty is a bad word to describe it, but it's
poetic, I feel, Of course it can be pretty. We're talking about killing Nazis. Of course it's pretty.
That's true. Yeah. The only kind of good Nazi is a dead Nazi.
I've said this to Kenny, and I think I might have mentioned it, on an interview, but like the thing that sold me on wanting to do the book was the stuff he told me past the pulpy pitch, right? Like, when he started telling me about sort of what Dracula's going through and the idea of trying to show those scenes and express that stuff. I mean, it's fun to talk about drawing people getting slaughtered, but the hard scenes to figure out and the ones that are most rewarding are some of those quieter scenes that we see in some of the outside of the train sequence.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the book, which I think is one of yours too, Tyrell, is the one where we reveal the Faustian bargain that he's made, like the consequences of it. And it's a very quiet, horrific, like somber.
I was going to say it's very somber, like the way,
Yeah.
especially the color palette kind of matches that, and the way that Tyrell adds the shadows, and then the voice that you bring. It is kind of that. All right, let's take a step back. And I think that's something you guys both do very well throughout this book. Like when it is time to kind of hit those, you let those moments breathe, and then it is back to it. And that's again why I love reading your guys' works for these reasons right here.
Yeah. We wanted to make sure like violence in a story only feels justified and really fun when there's a good, heartfelt, like emotional reason you're invested in it. So that's why we were like, yes, Tyrell will be able to completely knock it out of the park with the violent scenes, but we're like, we also have to give just as much care, if not more, to the quieter sort of scenes where we see what Dracula's going through, what led him here. Because we get to see him on some little, throughout the series, you'll see him in some flashbacks on before he gets to the train, like stuff that led to this, like why he's working with the British, what exactly it entailed getting this mission done, how it's worn on him, how it's changed him. Like there's a lot that's happened to him before he steps foot on the train, and then he goes through a lot of shit on the train too. So he does not get out of it scot-free.
So for those, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, for those who are getting the comic, how many issues do you guys anticipate doing?
There you go.
We're doing 3. They're all deluxe size though. They're all double size.
Yeah.
So, issue 1 is 40 pages, and the other 2 issues are 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like broken up into like acts of an action movie, like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
And it's all going to take place on the train?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's scenes outside of the train.
Well, right. But predominantly the main.
Flashbacks.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. That's very.
We give people a break. We leave the train.
Don't worry, guys. We're getting out. I know everyone's like, Tyrell said, I have not spent hours researching trains to not show us every aspect of this.
He even watched Snowpiercer. Oh, I was not a fan of Snowpiercer. It just creeped me out.
Okay.
Chris Evans and what he had to do to survive in that movie.
Yeah.
Oof, I didn't like it. But I get what because that whole movie's on the train and they're just going through the cars and whatnot. So yeah, I can see how that would be inspiration for sure.
Now, real quick before we kind of dive into, where we can kind of find you guys and the final order cutoff and things. So Tyrell, for you, we really talked about the emotional moments. Now, Dracula he's undead. He's dead. He's not somebody who has a lot of facial expressions. So was that a little bit more difficult for you capturing how his skin might have stretched or moved for somebody like Dracula with his texture? Yeah,
that's a hard thing always is finding the ways to sort of bring some of the emotion that's in the script to life in a visual way. And part of it can be done with the expressions of the characters. And I tend to be kind of big with expressions sometimes, but when you get into other moments where maybe it is more somber or maybe there's a quiet moment, sometimes instead of focusing on say Dracula's exact expression, I focus on the setting and the mood around him, or the other aspects of his character that can tell a story. Is his hair blowing in the wind, or is it perfectly flat? Is his coat, buttoned up all the way, or is it open? Is he wearing a hat, not wearing a hat? What are these things that can sort of give you these other visual cues, right? Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is there fall? Is it spring? And so that's sort of where I usually go to, because sometimes, Kenny will write this great moment in the script and it'll say something like Dracula has a quiet, somber moment. And it's just like, okay, if he writes Dracula punches a hole in a guy's head, like that's easy, done, But if it's like those moments, that's an emotion, and we don't all have the same visual cues. So it can be really tricky, but hopefully we, with the lighting and the setting and the expressions all together, you can get some of that across.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is a book too, like I was talking with Greg Katzman, wonderful, love him over there. And this is a book that's getting a lot of buzz. So how does that feel for you guys? Like this is getting a lot of good buzz behind it. Is it kind of like nerve-wracking for you guys? I can almost imagine, because I can see like, oh man, this has been building up and it's well worth everybody's time. I cannot say that enough.
I wouldn't say nerve-wracking. I'd say it feels like when you're working on stuff like this, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees because you're making it. So the fact that we're like, oh, thank God, everyone else.
Right. Yeah. Like, oh, we're seeing it. Like,
it's nice
together. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I would say it's probably simultaneous for me of feeling like, well, hell yeah, man. Like we're good at this. This is awesome. We're making an awesome thing. And the other part of me is like, oh my God, I got to finish drawing this. Like if the train is coming down the tracks and
he's got a victory lap. He's
like, waiting for it now. And they're like excited for it. I can't just like turn it in and hope that nobody sees it if it's bad, right? Like this, but honestly, it's mostly excitement because it's rare for me to work so close to the release of a book. And so it's been wild for me to be like working on a book and they're like putting press out about it. and
Mm.
and it's been great. I mean, they've been, they have been helping us, get some word out there, and the response has been, really flattering.
You mentioned Greg. Greg has been amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
Greg's great.
He's like the best. I love him so much. Like, if there's one person out there that I would absolutely die for, it's probably him, just for how amazing he is and how communicative. So as soon as he sent this book, I mean, we already knew
2 kids and a wife, but it's Greg.
Yeah, sorry,
That's
kids.
the one person.
Well, hey, they get rich, but no, like they sent it, and I already knew that your guys' name. I was already sold off your name, but then when Greg sent that, I mean, I can tell you right now, I was right after I finished it. I had texted Lauren. I was like, "This book is gonna rip. It is effing awesome. It is everything and more." And then just seeing the buzz from it, I cannot wait. So, final order cutoff is, it's June 1st. It's coming up right around the corner. We're already almost halfway through May. It's kind of
Oh my gosh.
insane to think about. But what is the importance? So I know there's a lot of discourse right now. People don't quite understand what the final order cutoff might be. So why is it important for people to get out there and pre-order these books at their comic shops?
Yeah, so pre-ordering and final order cutoffs are super important. So the final order cutoff, that's the last day you can pre-order an issue or subscribe to it at your local comic book shop. Pre-ordering is really important because it sets the number expectations of how much to print and how much they're going to sell. You need to think about it like buying tickets in advance for a concert. If they don't fill enough seats, they're probably not going to continue the show. So that's the best way to support the book is to call your local comic shop, drive down there, email them, carrier pigeon, whatever's the best sort of thing that you can do to get
Take a train.
You take the train.
Take a train.
You love public transportation. Take the bus. But you can find comic shops through like Comic Book Shop Locator to see what one's closest to you. There's also bigger ones in bigger cities that'll just ship them to you. There are some that straight up you can subscribe, manage your pull list, and they'll package them up every week or every 2 weeks or something and send them to you. And then you just forget it. You just have to set it and forget it, like they used to say in the old rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of like all your streaming services that people say they're going to cancel after the free trial and they don't. This is better though. You actually get more out of that. You don't just get useless ads and whatever else is out there. You get real good stuff, man. You get really cool books.
And I was shocked. I was looking at it the other day and I saw that our cover price is like, we're a big issue and it's not really a high cover price. I was like, all right, we're like a bargain too. Like there's no excuse not to get our book.
Well, a lot of people.
It's got Dracula in it. He's fighting Nazis. It's like I think somebody called it from Josh Weiss called it Spawn meets Indiana Jones. Like,
ooh. Well, it's got some biblical lore sprinkled in there too, which of course my head always goes to supernatural. I know twist ending, which we're not going to spoil, obviously, but yeah, I was like, I was sucked in, and then at the end, I was like, oh, that's going to be fun to explore.
There is. Now I know this is 3 issues. Is it a contained, or is there always going to be room for maybe some more if this does well down the road?
Oh, if it does well, we know more stories to tell.
Oh yeah,
I can't tell you what happened.
Time travel, Dracula everywhere. You know what?
Yeah, with supernatural stuff. Yeah, nobody stays dead forever.
We can get Dracula reliving the Bible for all I care, and I'm gonna read it. Damn it,
reliving the Bible.
I don't know. There was a lot of death and torture in the Bible. I feel like
there are a bunch of pulpy adventures we'd like to send him on.
We hinted a few of them in some of the issues. So.
Yes, there's some hints for things we would like to do with him throughout.
I am excited now.
So all the more reason to get it before the final order cutoff.
Get out there June 1st, and then the book actually releases July 8th. Correct? Perfect. Look at that midsummer reading. You could be out by the pool reading a really good book, whatever it is you're doing, right? Summer season, you're always traveling. You need something to read on the plane, wherever it is. Maybe gas prices are a little crazy. So maybe you're on the train across the country. Get a good book. And, starting with you, Tyrell, is there any upcoming comic conventions here over the next few months that you're going to be appearing at?
Right now, I don't have anything locked in. I might be at New York, which I'm hoping I can be at New York because that'll be about when the book is done. And we'll be talking about, I can just talk about the opening. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be at that. But I won't be at any of their shows. But people can find me on my website, tyrellcannon.com. They can check out some of my older work. They can buy the Schlub. They can buy Eris. And then every now and again, I'm streaming on YouTube as well. So they can find me on YouTube, Tyrell Cannon. Those are the best places to catch me.
Absolutely. Kenny, what kind of adventures do you have coming up on these few months?
I'll definitely be doing San Diego. So we have San Diego Comic-Con. Looks like I might be doing New York as well. So Tyrell and I might be Kenny and Tyrell take Manhattan.
That's kind of exciting. We're hoping to be there as well. So
I should be there.
Yeah. Well, I'll take Manhattan. We'll do a better job than Jason did because he didn't really like it.
Listen, that punch in the head coming off lives rent free in my head. It's one of the silliest, greatest deaths of all horror movies. It's not a good movie, but I was entertained.
If that movie has taught me anything, New York is full of vats of toxic waste everywhere. Around every corner, the sewers are full of toxic waste. They have a set time every night to flush the toxic waste.
They do, and that's how you get rats. Ninja rats at that. Yeah. I mean, turtles, I should say, running around eating your pizza. So you're probably actually not far off. It's a scary place.
But yeah, I'll be at San Diego, New York. And then in terms of like follow me and stuff, portercomics.com. I have all my socials listed on there. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or refuse to call it the other thing.
It's not
Twitter. All that jazz.
We're out there. Them 75 million social medias there. And hey, guys, you want the easiest thing to do? We put in the show notes because I know that clicking all these different places can be confusing. So don't worry, we got you. We're also going to put the pre-order link in there. We're going to put a little comic finder link in there for you as well. Whatever we can do, because I love this comic. Lauren, do you have any final thoughts as we wrap this baby up?
No, yeah. If you love not beating up Nazis and supernatural stuff and Dracula and twists and gorgeous art, get it. Get this comic.
Or if you don't, Dracula's going to come to your house next. So that might be one of his adventures. You never know. Do you want to take the chance?
There's the sequel. I don't. You can be part of the next story.
Well, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure getting to chat with you guys and hang out. And I really can't wait to get the physical copy of this. I can't wait for people to check it out and read it. So thank you as always for hanging out with us. Everybody out there, hey man, if we haven't sold you enough, just wait and see for yourself, right? I mean, I'm not going to promise you I'm going to give you your money back, but you won't even be asking for it. So check it out. We'll see everybody soon.
Bye.
Peace.